Hollow Knight sucks. Well, not really, but there are a couple of things I don't really like about the game. I've written a total of 10 things, which I don't particularly like, and there's no actual order with those things. They're just 10 things I don't enjoy about the game. Number 1. Early game exploration. Whenever I replay Hollow Knight, I don't really like exploring Crossroads and getting to Hornet fight. Overall, pre-dash Hollow Knight feels a bit monotone, I would say. Maybe because I'm already used to more dynamic movement in Hollow Knight with, well, dash, double jump and all the other stuff. Charm balance in Hollow Knight is a really weird thing to talk about because, well, there is like 40 charms in the game, but out of all of them there are like 3 primarily used by the players, which are either Strength Charm, Quick Slash and Shaman Stone, and some other charm for 2 or 2 for 1 notches. But charm balance is really weird. Some charms would need a small rework, some need a small buff or nerf, but yeah, charm balance is a really weird thing because most charms are basically useless and they're just 1% for the completion. Best example of that is Heavy Blow. I have never seen a player who used it for real. Heavy Blow is just so terrible as a charm. Grey Prince Zote is probably the worst boss in the game. It's terribly designed, it has so random attacks. I have never fun refighting Grey Prince Zote, and I have biggest pleasure leaving Zote to die in Green Path. Grey Prince Zote's attacks are really random, they're awkward to dodge. I would honestly call Grey Prince Zote harder than Ascended Markov. Background blur and low quality assets is something I don't like at all, cause I really want to appreciate the art that was made for the game, cause the game looks gorgeous. I love how it's drawn, it looks pretty as heck, but there is a way to remove the background blur with mods, but mods don't make assets high quality, and in Hollow Knight there's a lot of them across the game, starting with first areas of the game, going through like City of Tears, even the entrance to White Palace. In a Silksong, the problem isn't as big because most assets are really high quality, or quality high enough to not be that pixelated as some in Hollow Knight. Pantheon bindings is something I never really liked, because those are really weirdly balanced. Like Shell binding takes away 5 masks, and I think it's a bit too much. I would say it should take away 3 or 4. 5 is a bit too much. While the soul binding, I think it would be more fair if soul binding only took away 4 heal / spells instead of 5, but would make spells slightly weaker. Cause like, who cares how strong is your nail when you can still shoot powerful spells? I think the most balanced binding of all is the nail binding, cause it reduces the nail damage from 21 to 13, and I think it's just alright, it's not that bad, you still get spells, but the most outrageous one of them is the charms binding, which totally removes all charms while activated in Pantheon, and I really don't like that, because I think most important charms to play with, at least for me in Hollow Knight, is Quick Slash, because it makes the combat dynamic, but without Quick Slash it feels really boring. When I was fighting some bosses without charms, I was really bored. I think the best example of that are Sisters of Battle. I think they're really boring without charms, and usually I got hit because of that. Next thing is Crossroads getting infected. I think it's a pretty good thing from the storytelling standpoint, but I just don't like them from the gameplay perspective. In fact, the Crossroads have some passages locked away, which are locked away permanently. There's no way to open them again. Area looks really ugly. Forgotten Crossroads is one of my favorite areas because I really like the saturated blue. I love that a lot. It looks really pretty, but adding orange to the mix with all the infection all around makes the area look ugly, and I get the point, but it still doesn't change the fact that I don't really like infected Crossroads, and I usually quite avoid it, but I still really enjoy dashing through those husks with Sharp Shadow. It's quite satisfying though. Next one is how many kills is needed for some additional Hunter's Journal entries. For example, Leaping Husks need a total of 30 total kills, and those enemies don't appear really often. I would say they're quite rare. And usually when I finish the journal again on another save file, Leaping Husk is one of two enemies which I have to kill a lot. The second one is Mossy Vagabond, which is in Green Path and is still a quite rare enemy. Next thing is how useless is the upper tramway. I think I used it only once, but it has no practical use, and I think it's mainly to show how bugs were traveling from Crossroads to resting grounds, but they could have added some bridge instead of a tram. I don't know, I just find that tramway really useless, especially that the tram pass is obtained pretty far in the playthrough. I personally think that Hollow Knight should have more things in it. I mean, the game is big enough, but some areas I think would need it to be a bit bigger. Like, I think the Abyss was really needing some more stuff in it. Some areas have a lot of stuff going around them. Crystal Peak and City of Tears are best examples of that. Those are big, have a lot of content in them, but some areas are really feel like Wisp Thicket feels in the Silk Song, a bit of an afterthought. I mean, basically, Fog Canyon is that. Fog Canyon doesn't have a lot of stuff going there. The most things going in Fog Canyon are Teacher's Archives. Resting Grounds is one of the smallest areas, but I guess it serves its purpose. The Abyss as an area should definitely have more things going in it, especially how important it is to the story of the game. I'm grateful that the Abyss in the Silksong got more importance in the story, because in the Abyss in Silksong, Hornet gets the Silk Sword, and in the Abyss there is the final boss, Lost Lace. I really like that. It's a definitive upgrade compared to Hollow Knight. And the last but not least, the worst thing in Hollow Knight. I mean, there isn't a worse thing than that. The worst thing is Myla.